Most people who want to build a rental portfolio rarely get past that first property, not because they ran out of good deals, but because they ran out of cash. You buy one rental, you sink your down payment and your closing costs into it. Now all that money is locked inside the four walls of that house. To buy the next one, you've got to save up all that money again. This is exactly how most people stay stuck at one property for several years. But serious investors run a different play. A play that hands almost all of their money back after every single deal, so that they can simply go and do it again, and again, and again. It's called the BRRRR method. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how it works, the real numbers behind a deal, and the mistake that blows the whole thing up. So let me give you the big picture before the details. BRRRR is 5 steps. Buy an undervalued property, usually something that's distressed, maybe needs a little bit of work. Rehab it, which forces the value up. Rent to a qualified tenant so it produces income. And then refinance it based on the new higher value and pull all your original cash right back out of it. Repeat with that same cash on the next deal. So here's the whole idea in one sentence. In a normal purchase, your cash gets stuck in the property. In a BRRRR, your cash comes back to you, so the same money can buy you property after property. If you want to run this exact play in your market, I'll leave a link to the description to book a call. No cost, no pitch, just a real look at those numbers. Now let me break down each step because the magic and the risk both live in the details. Usually the first 2 letters are where that deal is won or lost. You are simply not buying a turnkey, retail priced house. You are buying something that the market has discounted. A dated property, distressed sale, something that just scares off the average buyer. Then you rehab the property. And here's the key term, forced appreciation. You're not waiting years for the market to lift the value. You are creating the value yourself with the renovation. There's one number that controls this entire step. It is called the ARV, the after repair value. This is what the property is worth, you guessed it, once the work is done. Smart BRRRR investors aim to be all in, purchase price plus rehab, 70 to 70% of the after repair value. Why that number? Because that is about the max a lender will give you back on the refinance when you go to cash out. If you are all in at 75% of what the home is worth fixed up, the refinance can hand you most of your cash back. Once the rehab is complete, you place a tenant. That matters for 2 reasons. It produces income and it makes the property financeable as a rental. Then comes the step that separates BRRRR from just simply flipping a house, the refinance. So now you go get a new loan based on the new appraised value, not what you originally paid. A cash out refinance, usually up to around 70 to 75% of that new value. That money pays off whatever you used to buy and rehab the place. And the cash you put in at the start comes back to your account. Now the refinance on an investment property is almost always going to be a DSCR loan. DSCR just means that the property qualifies on its own rental income, not your tax returns, not your W-2, not your overtime. If the rent simply covers the new payment, the property qualifies itself. I did a full breakdown on how DSCR loans work in another video. If that part is new to you, watch that one next. I'll link it below. There's 2 things that you have to respect on a refinance. Number 1, seasoning. A lot of lenders would like to see you own the property for a period of time, often around 6 months before they will refinance off the new value instead of your purchase price. Some could be shorter. So make sure you know that lender's seasoning rule before you buy, not after. Number 2, really important, the property still has cash flow at the new loan amount. Pulling out cash raises your payment, and the rent has to cover it. If it doesn't, you pulled too much. So let me go ahead and put some actual numbers on this so it stops just being theory. Say you find a distressed single-family home in a secondary Ohio market. Akron, Canton, a working class neighborhood where rents are steady. Purchase price, $120,000. Rehab budget, $30,000. So you are all in at $150,000. You do the work. Now the house appraises fixed up at an after repair value of $200,000. You then place a tenant at $1,700 per month. Now the refinance comes. 75% of $200,000 value is $150,000. This is your new loan and it pays off your purchase and your rehab. That roughly $150,000 in cash comes right back out. Your total payment on the new loan, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance land around $1,400 per month. Rent is $1,700 per month. Payment is $1,400 per month. Your DSCR ratio is about 1.2. The property covers itself and then some. This is ideal for a DSCR loan. So now let's take a look at where you stand. You own a $200,000 asset, you have a tenant paying you every month, you have equity in the deal, and you got that original cash back to then go and buy the next one. That is the entire point. You did not lose your capital to the deal. You simply recycled it. So if you're looking at a deal right now and you want me to run these numbers on it with you, do this. DM me the word invest on Instagram at Steve Conti Pro. I will send you my guide, the ultimate guide to investing in real estate, and we can talk through your actual deal. Or just book a call. The link is in the description. BRRRR is powerful, but it is not magic. Here is where people get hurt. Mistake number one, the ARV comes in low. The whole model leans on that appraisal hitting your number. If you guessed high on the after repair value, the refinance hands you back less, and more of your cash is stuck in the deal. So do yourself a favor and run conservative comps. Do not fall in love with the top of the range. Mistake number two, over rehabbing. Putting a $60,000 kitchen into a $200,000 neighborhood, you cannot force the value above what the comps support. Renovate to the neighborhood, not above it. Mistake number three, forgetting the property has to cash flow after the refinance. People get excited pulling money out, and then the bigger loan eats the rent. The DSCR still has to work at the refinanced amount, not just the purchase amount. Mistake number four, seasoning surprise. You buy, you rehab, you are ready to refinance in a month or two, and your lender says you've got to wait 6 months. Now your cash is stuck longer than you planned. So make sure you know the rule going in. Here's where I'll be honest about who this fits best. I came up in the fire service as a firefighter paramedic for 18 years. And the reason that I push this strategy with first responders specifically is the schedule. If you work a 24-hour on, 48-hour off rotation, you have weekdays free to meet contractors, walk the rehab, and manage the project. Most investors are trying to do that all around a 9 to 5. You have stable municipal income to qualify for the upfront purchase financing. And then DSCR on the back end, so your overtime and your pay structure never get dragged through underwriting. The schedule that wears you down at the station is the same schedule that makes you a better investor than most. Quick word on markets because I get asked frequently. I'm licensed in Ohio, Virginia, Florida, Idaho, and Wyoming. Ohio is the BRRRR sweet spot of those 5. Affordable distressed inventory in Akron, Canton, and Youngstown with rents that still make the math work. Parts of Virginia work well too, especially around the Hampton roads. If you have a market in mind, tell me, and I'll let you know if the numbers hold up there. So that's it, the BRRRR method. Buy undervalued, rehab to force the value up, rent it, refinance to get the cash back, repeat. It is how you turn one chunk of capital into a portfolio instead of a single property. But it only works if the numbers are real. The ARV has to be right, the rehab has to be disciplined, and the property has to cash flow after your refinance. So if you're serious about running this play, here's what I want you to do next. There's a link in the description to book a call with me. No cost, no pitch, just a real honest conversation about your deal. If you're ready to move, the application link is right there too. And if you want the full investor playbook, DM me the word invest on Instagram at Steve Conti Pro. I also did a video on how DSCR loans work, which is the engine behind the refinance step. Watch that one next. It's linked below as well. If this helped you in any way, go ahead and subscribe because I put out content on real estate investing, first responder strategy, and what is actually working in this market right now. And I'll see you in the next one.